All right, all right, all right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we'll skip the little music intro. Been one of those kind of mornings already, right? So thank you all for stopping in for another Conversations with Geoff. We want to welcome you from wherever part of the world you're coming into, whether it be live or on the replay. And all we ask is always to make sure you let us know who you are, where you're from, and how we've impacted your time while you're with us, any feedback that you have, and show the speaker some love. And most importantly, know that your time is important and we appreciate you taking that time to hang out with us, right? Come join the community. I want to extend an offer to you to join the community of Conversations with Geoff. And it is a conversation. It's not something, if you're live, make sure you say, hey, I love this or more of this or whatever that is or where you're from. Chat it up this way. It's a virtual conversation, but it's not going to be the dialogue. We just talk to the monologue. We want you to participate. We want you to feel welcome. We want to hear your voice. So please, 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 please participate. And let's have some fun today, right? So I'm going to look down here because I want to make sure I cover a couple of points before we bring our guest on. And man, I always tell you, hey, if you haven't seen the show, you're going to love this one, and make sure you go back and see some of the other episodes. But sit down, relax, and get ready to have some fun with me and my guest coming up soon, right? So people say, well, why Conversations with Geoff? And that's a good question. And at that time, I was really kind of looking for and involved in some communities, and I've always had this passion to share what I'm talking to you about has done in my life. That thinking that we have and how to change that perspective on me and how I saw myself, right? So our purpose really is with our speakers and with your support, is to impact 1 million lives, becoming aware of the power and the impact of how they can change their life by changing the conversation they have with themselves about themselves, right? I mean, it's really simple. That conversation we have, I like to call it stinking thinking. That, oh man, I'm tired. Oh, I say it all the time. I say it's like a broken record, but it's so true. It happens every day, right? I don't believe I can do this. Why me? All this stuff that we hear and we chatter, right? So number one, I want you to understand the gift that we have simply by tapping into becoming aware, making a commitment to becoming aware of the messaging you have going on, that narrative that's running nonstop in your head internally, and the narrative that you surround yourself with from the news and all those other things, right? And then taking some simple habits that you can do over time with some work. This is not going to be magic. You're not going to transform without doing the work. But I'm going to tell you that our guests are coming in here and showing some tips and small things that you can do to begin right now changing the direction of your life or changing the conversation with your life, right? And I want to read this. I made a note to myself. Want to change your life? How about changing the quality of the questions you ask yourself about yourself? Changing the quality of the questions you ask yourself about yourself. How often do we say not why? Why is this happening to me? How often is that question asked? Do you ask that question? How come I never? And you can fill out the word. How come I never achieve anything I want to do? How come I never seem to get the opportunities? How come I never can do, like, you can just add a word into how come I never. Change that to what if? What if this is meant for me? What if this is my time? What if I can finally overcome the limiting beliefs that I have? And change that how come to how can I? How can I finally become the husband that I want to be? How can I finally become the brother I want to be? How can I finally become the friend that I want to be? How can I finally overcome, just fill in the blanks, right? Man, I'm telling you guys, it's really important to understand that we all have the same gift. And we want to level the playing field. We want to put some things in your hands that you can do right now today to begin that journey, to change that stinking thinking in your head. And I got to share this really quickly about my life, right, bro? And I tell you this, what I'm about to say now, is because, man, I have to do this stuff on all day, every day. Some days I do really well, and some days I truthfully just suck at it. Because I got stuff going on that I've made some mistakes recently in my real estate business, made some bad decisions and I've got to face some things around that. And man, you know, that old noise that is running in my head, man. Who do you think you are to be able to run a multi-million-dollar a year in revenues real estate investing business or teach students? Who do you think? You know, all that noise, it happens, right? And health, I got some stuff going on in my health after 60 plus years of not having any issues at all, man. And I want to just get, and that's what I do. I take a deep breath, I hit the pause button, and I do my best to do what I'm sharing with you, because life's going to show up, baby, and that's when it happens. Life shows up. Then what do you choose to do? What do you choose to do at that time? Today I choose to win. Today I choose to share. Today I choose to bring fabulous guests that we have coming up right now. So let me grab her bio and get this thing moving, right? So remember though, before I leave you, it's possible. Begin to ask better questions. You open up the door of possibilities, baby. We all can do this. So that should be exciting for you, right? All right, so anyway, our next guest coming up for Conversations with Geoff she's a good friend of mine. I've got to know over the last couple of years through this whole digital platform and stuff. Man, I got a chance to see her at the Great American Speak Off down in Miami. She was one of 130 folks like myself that were there out of 27,000. Yeah. Ooh. And so, you know, we had some fun down there. And she's a successful Brazilian-born entrepreneur who achieved her goal of being approved in the fashion school in the USA within a year, despite not knowing any English. Did you hear what I just said? Hey, she didn't care. She asked the right question. She worked for major companies like Adidas, Billabong, Nordstrom's, Target, and others before pursuing her own swimwear line. Along the way, she faced marketing challenges, but was determined to learn and help other women launch their businesses. We already know how determined she is. Didn't speak English, and now she does, right? Today, Hellen is a passionate coach, empowering women to pursue her dreams and their dreams to create impactful businesses. Her story inspires others to never give up on their goals. Ladies and gentlemen, help me bring to Conversations with Geoff, Hellen Tattiane. All right, let me get over here. Hey, where is she? Hey, Hellen.
Hi. Good to see you, Geoff.
Oh,
So good to see you.
You too. Happy Tuesday morning to you, my friend.
Happy Tuesday. Thank you for having me here.
Hey, it's a pleasure. You know, I know you're busy and you got a lot of things going on. So when you said yes,
We are.
fired up. Fired up and glad to have you here. Bring that smile and light up the world, right? So
let's do it. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Geoff.
Hey, you're welcome. You know, and we were kind of talking before I went live, and you know, you're just such a gracious person, you know, and why I'm bringing this up, guys, you know, I'm supposed to be 15 minutes early before the show, so I'm online and she's online. I'm thinking, where is she? And look, I was in the wrong place. But she's still there and still showed up, man. So we really appreciate that. So let's get to busy about talking about Hellen, right? I mean, yeah. I guess the first question I have is how was it, Hellen, when you were learning how to do the work and not understanding the English language, but you hung in there? I mean, that's just, ooh, man, how was that? You even remember?
I do. I do remember, because that's what fueled me for a lot of other things in my life too. So as you said, the moment, like at first, like, is the questions that you ask yourself. I truly believe this, but more than this, I would say a lot of people talk about mindset, change your mindset, change how you see yourself and all these kind of things. And yes, all this is valid and is part of the process. But at least for me, the way I believe, the thing that really will change your mindset and change how you see yourself is actions. Is faith to me. I born and raised Christian, and I always heard as faith of someone that has faith and people that don't have faith. I was like, how can I have faith? And so along the way, I understood that faith is actually when you say you believe something, you just go for it. It's not when you know it's gonna work how, but if you say like it is a chance that I will succeed, just go for it. So that was English for me. So when I came here, And my husband is Brazilian, but he's American Brazilian, so he always spoke English in his household. So for me, I said hello. That's pretty much what I knew. It like took me like a long way to figure it out. He had so much fun with me, you have no idea, because I said things wrong. I like was always a joke, like because things like are you guys hiring right now? I would ask if they are hiding right now. So things like this. I'll be like very confusing. I try to here now. Gonna forget that when I got my one of my first jobs here, I got they asked me to set up an account so they could deposit my salary, and I come back home like super excited before my husband got home saying, I'm gonna prepare this check, I'm gonna do everything on my own because I can do this. And then he grabbed it and I say, hey, can you just check if I did everything okay? Because at that moment I was like halfway with English. So he got to check and he's super excited. He started laughing and laughing so much. I was like, why are you laughing? I did everything they asked for. And then I was supposed to say like a void check, and I wrote avoid. Hey, in my defense, they asked for a void check, so I just put it together. So yeah, just like where we started. So we had fun along the way, let's say that. Not me, not so much, but he did.
Yeah, it's fun at the expense of you, right?
Yeah, it's like okay, but it was very hard. It's very hard. Like I grew up. I'm a designer in Brazil already, so I was very successful in Brazil. Had like my own career. So, and when we don't know a language, what people may don't realize is not just you learning something new. It's literally everything. You have no idea how many times, Geoff, I felt so stupid. Like I felt like dumb because I couldn't communicate. It was like the most basic things. It's not you feel so not smart anymore. And then it was hard. It was hard to overcome those feelings and keep reminding myself that was a time that nothing works overnight and is a time to accomplish things. But if I just stay focused, I would get there. And I wasn't just persistent. I was extremely persistent. So I remember that I signed up for ASL classes, and my English was so bad, Geoff, that I qualified for one class at the week only per week, because they say like you really know nothing, like you can. I was like, hey, I told my husband, I give myself a year to go to college so I can do fashion designer here too. And then he laughed. He said like, yeah, I don't think you can do this in a year. I was like, you better watch me.
Yeah, I love it.
It is on. So I just took it like I couldn't communicate. I couldn't communicate with school. But I need to find a way to make them know and understand that I had that year to dedicate my life for English. And I wouldn't take 3, 5, 6, or 10. That I had 1 year and I need more classes. So what I did, I got a piece of paper and I started drawing for them. And I was there knocking their door. I was like, before the office will open, I would knock the door and be there waiting. And they're like, oh my gosh, here she comes. Like, and then, drawing and finalize it. They tried to explain to me, like, we can't give another class. And I was so on top of them every day that one day a lady said, got a key in her hand and say like, okay, has a room on the back there. Go to their room. It's the computer room. And you go there and go do like a Duolingo. It was Rosetta Stone.
Okay.
Open the computer, stay there as long as you want. Like at that point, they just need to get rid of me. Like, get the hell out of here, woman. Like, just leave. I was like, I got a key, so excited for my husband. You're not gonna believe it. What just happened? They gave me the cue. I can't learn English entire day. I was there at 8 a.m. and I used to leave like when they kick me out, literally. When they say like, hey, we're close the door. And that was about 6 or 7 p.m. I did skip lunch and everything I could. I just like was there. I was so persistent that then I learned enough to go back to the office and say, hey, I can do this now. I need another class. And they like, what? And then they
Wow.
gave me, and then I challenged them to put me in two levels at the same time.
Mm,
And they like that. We never saw anybody like this. We
mm,
normally have to fight with people to come to the class.
yeah.
And you're crazy. You're just crazy. I was like, I have been told. And I was just doing this. I did two classes at the same time. So in 1 year, I went to the college I want to do, and I did the test for
Mm,
if I was able to understand enough English to do the college.
yeah.
And they approved me. I was like more than okay. And
Right.
I had some mistakes years in there, but like
Yeah.
I was able to do. And a year after the my college, I started working for big companies like Forever 21. And then right after Forever 21 was called to work for Adidas, I work for Saks Fifth Avenue.
Mm,
So I like in 1 2 years, like just because, like I said, for me, your mindset will change when you take actions. I always say like actions bring you clarity, not thoughts. Sometimes we hear like spend so much time trying to find the way to change the way I see myself. Go for it. Go for it. You're never gonna know where you're gonna go, where you have to go until you go. It's no other way.
yeah. Wow, you know, I'm over taking some notes here, and just to kind of touch on, you know, you talked about feeling stupid, and so many people out there that are told they're stupid, and they run that story and all that stuff. But then you said action brings clarity. I mean, you're living proof of that. But, I mean, we're all human, though, Helen, right? I mean, there's always that point where we're sitting by ourselves and we're wondering if we're crazy, or we're wondering if
Yeah.
this is the right thing. You know, what was that like for you? And how did you? I mean, obviously you took action, but tell us how you felt at that time. Because there's people out there that want to do some stuff, and you're in that space you were right now. Go back to that time you were all alone. You were like fork in the road time. You know, I'm either going to smash this thing or I'm going back to Brazil. What was that?
Exactly. Or I get done or I get done. I I normally I know not everybody like you said, sometimes we think we're crazy. Like I not just think I am, as I kind of know by now. And not everybody is. But normally what I do for me, what works, I don't give a plan B. It's just like if I
Mm,
want to do this, I'm gonna get done. It's just a
mm,
matter of time. So I have an option to run fast or to run slow. So which one I want? I know that slow, I'm gonna get frustrated. And I know fast, I'm gonna break some stuff like faster, but then I'm gonna learn faster. So I think for me to avoid feel stupid was like the intern fight that I'll feel like that way, absolutely, many times. It's still up to this day, like new levels, new devils, like
yeah,
as more the more you grow,
yeah,
like like I stop comparing yourself. Yeah, right, like we don't do it, we're gonna compare ourselves. That's
yeah,
the first thing. Then I have to go back and say like, hey, yes, I know for fact I'm not like that person or in that level yet, but I can get there. If that person there, I'm gonna get there too. And
yeah,
I think that's for me is the difference is not trying. I don't try to fight much with. I think acknowledge what you're thinking about yourself is important too. I think
yeah,
for the longest time, I try to like, I don't think this way, don't say this way. No, I'm feeling this way.
yeah, yeah,
I don't feel like amazing about myself in this moment, but doesn't make like less of me. Like, how can I become amazing then? Like, what is the
yeah,
options I have?
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I
that's how
love
I
it.
kind of train my kids too. So I always tell them when they get frustrated or mad at me, I was like, hey, I raise leaders here in this house. If you're not okay with
Mm.
this, you better find another house. And I always tell them they like they try to, but mom, not gonna work, not gonna work. I was like, okay, normally you have two options in life. Normally that's how it is. So what is the option one? What is the option two? Which one you take it? And they also And for everything, like you say, even the questions, even the things that we ask ourselves, we normally have two options. I can continue rehearsing, I'm bad, I don't work, I'm stupid, or blah, 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 blah. Or I can say, like, I screwed this, like, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Feeling stupid, but I'll keep going. And that was going to go away eventually. He's like a crush. You go away eventually.
Oh yeah, feeling stupid, feeling all that, but moving forward in spite of, right? I mean, suck until you get better is what I always say. You know, I mean,
Exactly.
learn to be comfortable sucking at things, and you get there. So Helen, let's keep ruling with this. You know, you already dropped some powerful things on new level, new devils. You know, action brings clarity. I mean, you really dropping some fire people can take away from here. And thank you for that. And that smile just lights up the world, man.
Thank you.
But you know, let's talk about, you know, because once you start doing things and you have all that, some challenges or fears, focusing and saying no. You made a comment in this. When you talk about saying no, and how does that impact, or what can you tell us about the benefit of saying no, or focus on things and saying no to other things? That makes sense.
Yeah, this is I think is the biggest challenge for all of us. I think for me, one of the first thing, like coming from another country, especially Brazil, like Latino culture is very much about family, and that have to be so connected for family, not just your family, like your parents, but like extended family, and everybody needs to know about your life and those kind of things. And that was the first thing I learned to say no, to really like almost isolate myself and understand in building phase, when you're building, you cannot take a chance of leave anybody to destroy it. And
Mm-hmm.
that will take say no to almost like 100% of people in your life right now, because they're not going to understand. The only reason we feel crazy is because we probably not hanging out with the right people. As
Mm-hmm.
soon as you start saying no to these people, and love, it's not that you're not going to love it. I think people are so concerned about feel accepted. I need to please this. And I always tell my kids that I'm not here to please you. I'm here to train you, to lead you, to guide you, because I truly love you. When we are too concerned about please people, we forget our mission. And for me, it's about a mission. I'm only going to be able to bless and transform so many people's life when I start saying, like, where am I going? Where's my focus? And like be so almost obsessed with it that nothing else matters. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to love, that I'm not going to give attention, but I have to be very determined. And I need to make this very clear to everybody around me.
Yeah.
Say, hey, things going to change. It'd be a lot of no's. And here's why. And if you're on board, great. If you're not, great too, because it's not going to change my mission.
Wow, I was just listening to that, and so powerful. But and you know, you talk about hanging. If you're feeling bad, it's because you're maybe not hanging around the right people. You know, and saying no. And I love the fact that you're raising leaders with your kids, and they know and they see the example, Helen. That's amazing. But you know, it's usually though the ones that we have to say no to, as you mentioned, are our family members and all the other things. And people kind of hesitate. You know, how many times do we hear that? Well, my spouse didn't support me, or blah blah blah. That goes on with life. But then, is that really the issue, or is it the person?
And the thing is, Geoff, everything has a, a line, let's say.
Yeah.
So at first, people call you crazy. Then they are not on board.
Yeah.
Then they just like you became arrogant.
Yeah.
And then you get results.
Yeah.
Then they become your friend again.
Yeah.
And then you become the best person they know in life. Huh? Funny story. But if the no doesn't happen back there, and if you're not resilient enough to just take those steps and be like, I know, call me crazy, call me arrogant, do all this thing, but I'm doing all this because one of the people I want to bless is you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to bless my parents, my family, and people that need to be blessed if I don't set the example, if they don't understand this, if I don't show you how it's done, and if I don't take the bullet, let's say, I can't bless anyone. I
Yeah.
can't. It's just we want to save the world before, and that example that everybody uses and feels so like cliche, but it is put the mask first and then you can help others, because you're gonna, every single person that you have to say no at first is probably the ones that you're gonna bless the most, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to bless the most if you don't say no at first.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Wow. I hope you heard what she just said. To those of you that are out there facing that challenge, that are in that series of 4 steps that she shared, and you might be crazy or they may be cutting you off or not feeling connected. That what you just said is amazing. Those that criticize you the most will you bless the most. I mean, those are usually the ones that some of them you just cut loose, right? I mean, the ones that really mean something to you, you do that. So that's inspiring, Helen. That's really good, girl. Man, well, so many things, and then we're kind of getting our time is just flying by. So I'd love to hear your perspective on this and overcoming the scarcity lifestyle.
That is good. That's my favorite one. I was hoping for this moment. I was like, we're gonna get there. That this is my passion, and I can tell you absolutely my mission. I being so focused on this because I keep saying I will fight. I will fight so much for this that will get to a point that my shadow will help people overcome scarcity. That's how focused I am on this. I grew up in Brazil, and Americans can say whatever they want about, like, yeah, we have problems here and everything, but even the person that goes to the most trouble here in poverty, they still have a much better life than some people that is not even in poverty in Brazil. And Brazil is an amazing country, super developed and everything, but it's just like it's very divided between the rich and the poor, and it's very different. The access that you have is so different. It's hard to even explain. Um, and I grew up Christian too, so my combination of scarcity was was the highest level possible on earth, like anything. So, and I never knew how much scarcity was affecting in your life. Like, it's so much more than just money wise. Scarcity is that fear that you're never gonna have enough, never gonna have enough for everything. You're never gonna have left love. You're not gonna have money. You're not gonna have food. Everything. It started like is like something so from the devil for me that takes in your soul and takes so much to overcome this. But the best way to overcome is when I was faced with an opportunity to invest like $15,000. I have literally have a knot in my stomach. I was like, what? I'm like, crazy. Never gonna do this. Like, no. I grew up like listening. You gotta work hard. I started working when I was 12 or 13. That's when I got my first job, and I never stopped. I always heard like, be employed, go get a job in big corporations, and that's how you're gonna be successful and work for them for the rest of our life. Never think about leaving. So if you get a big corporation, don't leave ever. Don't start your own thing. You're crazy. That never gonna work. Forget it. Just stay stuck right there. Be quiet and be thankful. So that's all I heard. Invest in yourself. I never even heard that was a thing. So when I heard that, and I left my corporate job and I used to work for Adidas. So imagine, like, everybody was like, you're crazy.
You had to be crazy. Checking your pulse and your temperature, right?
Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And so it's like, I got the thing that everybody wants. It's like, I'm going to leave. And they're like, what? But it's literally like that moment. In that moment, I remember I was saving money to buy my first house, and I was like, no, hell no, I'm not going to do this. And then I felt in my spirit, like, very clear. Do you want a one house and sit there and lose the value, or do you want to be able to bless many and buy as many houses as you want? Which one you want? I was like, option 2. And then, like, in that moment, I felt my spirit, like, It's time to break free from scarcity. And in scarcity, if you feel or if you grew up in that situation, I I hate, but I love to tell you there is no other way to do it as open the wallet for yourself. Is no other way, because the scarcity is connected to your own value. And the thing is, we are very easy to pay for others or maybe like help others. When you live in scarcity, you need to feel approved. So that's why normally people in scarcity, they always want to donate or help here and there because make them feel good. But then when it comes to invest big in themselves, they think they're being selfish. That's just one of the biggest sign of scarcity, because they don't understand that they are the good soil. If I invest in me and I can produce much more, how many more people I can bless? If I keep like it just doing the charity here, charity there, I'm never gonna be able to grow enough to bless many to be the big charity. So that is the thing that I always say is like onions. It goes by layer. So the first investment to me was the 15, and then I just grew from there. And every time it's the new level, has new devils, and I'm always like, oh, this amount I cannot handle. And then I just go for it. And then I was like, I can't, I did another one. I did another one. So, and that changes. And that's when I say, yes, the mindset is important. But I will challenge every single one of you right here that the mindset will change when you start investing yourself with time, with no too many people, with loving you, with open your wallet for you and say, I am worth it. I'm going to make this work. Is no option B, because I believe in me and I don't care if they call me stupid, if they call me crazy, go for it. Make a list of names you want to call me, but I'm going for it. And it may gonna fail and it may not gonna work the way I planned, but I'm gonna keep pushing it. So the moment that will happen, the transformation will be right there. And you can see how passionate about it I am. This like I am like, that is just I love so much, because I want to encourage everybody to really invest in yourself. Go find that person, go people, that mentor, that coach, that community that really will push you for greatness, and that open the wall and say, I am worth it, because it will transform your life. It's not about the money you're gonna make because of that program, because that coach, but it's the transformation that's gonna happen inside of you.
And recognizing that, and Coach Chad, instead of saying hey and great, wonderful wisdom, and thanks for feedback out of the chat. Keep throwing that love this way, guys. And Hellen, you really said so many things here as we kind of come back to it, and you know, just investing in yourself. I always had this saying, you know, I am worthy of success. Nothing will stop me from reaching my destiny. I will not be denied. You know, and I share that with people. And you're talking about, man, go from that scarcity piece to valuing yourself and investing in yourself, and you're living proof of that. And that 15,000, that's a lot of jack. You know.
And I already achieved new levels, so it's like I'm not in the 15 anymore. So this year alone, Danielle and I, we already invest more than 100,000. And is amazing. Another thing that I will share with you, all of you guys, all of you, is instead of looking for the money, look the room you want to be in the room. Point the room you want to be, sign the check, and the money will come. And I can't explain you how, but every time I did this, I come up with the money I need. But for the longest time, I used to work for big names. I didn't make it low incomes. I was very okay in my career, let's say it this way. I couldn't never save like $1,000 or $5,000. And when I start acting this way, when I start seeing the room and everything, I will start coming up with 8,000, 10,000 a week, things like that I couldn't do for years before. Because everything changed here. But change, yes, the mindset, how I saw myself, but change because I act on it. I didn't just sit down here and think about it, be hoping that someone would pay for me. It's like, you know what? I got this. How do you got this, Helen? Have no clue, but I got this.
The how doesn't matter because you had the why.
It doesn't matter. I'm just going for it. And one thing that I say, like for my fellow Christians, if anybody watching here, it has nothing to do, I'm not being religious, but it's really like I really want to encourage like Christian community, because I know we develop like the mindset that if it comes from God, he will give to me and it'll be free. But let me tell you something, like a little secret. If it comes to God, he'll make you pay, because that's how you're gonna grow. He's a God of strategy. He is not the God like to give everything. He already gave everything to us. Everything he made for us is in abundance. He just say, I put you to rule in this earth, like go take care of it. So these small ones that are playing small is us. It's not God. He doesn't have to give you anything else. He already gave you. So he gave you the ability to make whatever you need to make. So I would say this, wait in God means this. I believe he's with me, so I throw myself and he will catch me. That's what waiting on the Lord means. It's not sitting down. I'm praying for God. No, you don't have to pray. He's already signed up. Like, pray, like go ahead. Move.
I love that. You know, it's so much of that, just sitting around waiting and expecting things in life, and life will pass us by and we'll be gone, and we'll be in that dash between the years will just be that, right? It'll just be that dash. So Helen, as we wrap up, and Daryl Jones, hey, thank you, man. And so Coach Chad and Steph, we really appreciate your support, and all those folks that will catch later on. Listen. Helen, how do we get a hold of you? And do you have anything coming up that these folks may be able to take advantage of? And it looks like we may have some technical difficulties. I'm going to keep talking until she comes back, man, because this has been a great show. Internet's been a question, and hopefully we don't lose her. Oh, man. But what fire was this lady talking about, right? I mean, hopefully you've taken some notes and you've gone back through this thing, and you will go back through it and capture what she's talking about. I'm just going to fill in here for a couple of minutes here and see if we can get her back on here. The internet has always been an opportunity for us to grow and show up. Man, what fire, Helen. She talked about from the beginning taking action. And even though she felt stupid, she still showed up and did her thing, right? People thought she was crazy. You can think whatever you want. Ow, we lost her. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just give her a round of applause in her absence, man. Golly. And I want to thank everybody for spending the time today and go back through this, share this information. I mean, this lady is on fire. And I've seen it. What she's talking about is for real. She's got some great things that she's doing and offering to help people. But most importantly, the new levels, new devils. So expect it. She talked about it at the end. She talked about the things thanks Coach Chad, she talked about the things that were there. And she wanted to go to the next level. And she talked about God. If you're a Christian, however you believe, we're here to just be able to talk about love and communication. But she believes in what she believes in. And those of you that are like that, she told you, you got to take the action. Do like her and jump, baby. He's going to catch you. And for those of you that are believing something different, energy, whatever it is, find that connection. Find that source. Hey, I think she's back to say goodbye. And I know you guys are tired of hearing me talk, so let me see if I can get her back here. Hey!
Technology. Technical difficulties.
Hey, it happens, but thank you for hopping back in and allow me to let you say goodbye. And you share.
Of course. Geoff, thank you so much for having me. Like, it was a pleasure. Love this conversation. And I hope the world can have more conversations. I think conversations is the key of success, is when we can open up and be ourselves and learn from each other.
Yeah. Well, you did. I mean, I got, my notes are long, and I'm going to go back through this thing and listen again because I couldn't catch all of it, So how do
see? Now I can even speak fast, right? For someone that didn't speak English,
it's already full speed. Wait a minute, what did you say? Say it again.
What?
Say what, girl? Oh, my goodness.
Oh God.
So how do people get a hold of you before we wrap this thing up? What's the best way?
So I did the name that I have on my Facebook account.
Okay.
And I also want to share a gift with everybody, especially entrepreneurs. I teach a class the other day that was super helpful. That's going to make your life so much easier and fast. So if you connect with me on my Facebook account, which is Hellen Tattiane, the way is written right here, and just like DM me #gift, and I'll give you a gift, and I'll be super happy to connect. Yeah. Can't wait.
Well, hey, listen, Hellen, boy, it's been a blast, as I knew it would be, and I really, really, really appreciate that. And I know the audience that's with us today, and I'll hear this recording is going to get a ton of stuff from you, and take advantage of what she's offering. And Hellen, thank you, my friend. It's been a blast.
Thank you. Thank you, Geoff. What a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. So good to see everyone. See you or not, hanging out with you here. So good. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Take care, my friend.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye.
All right, guys. So, hey, listen, we're going to go. And I just want to tell you, make sure you share and subscribe to this and pass this thing along and be a part of our mission, which is to impact 1 million lives through speakers like you just saw, through messaging like you just saw, becoming aware of the conversations that they're having, and we know how to take action towards the things that they want to get. She's already laid it out there. And most importantly, cut yourself a break, man. Start asking yourself better questions. What's one question that you can ask yourself that will help turn the tide? What's one better question that you can ask? Is it about parenting? Is it about relationship? Ask yourself, what if? Ask yourself, how can I? And as I always say, it's not I can, it's I can. It's not I think, it's I will. It's not maybe, it's I must. And believe that you can do this thing. We appreciate you. Go to Conversations with Geoff, subscribe. Look me up for further information, jeffctyson@gmail.com. And let's connect and let's keep growing this thing. Appreciate everybody. Have a great day. And remember, no more stinking thinking. See you on the next episode.